Embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, but you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these.
Well, I think what happened with Floyd is, and this is where he played it smart. You know, you have to give credit where credit is due. Floyd, after he beat me, if you notice, he became Money Mayweather.
Yes.
Well, he became a businessman.
$1 million fight, and you know, I've already, in the sport of boxing, I've already made somewhere upwards of 800 million.
You made money. You're gonna make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is, I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Just Google Floyd's name and the IRS. All the news is out there. He owes jewelers money. There's back paid rent for real estate in New York. It's clear that he is now part of the no money team, which is very ironic. And why is he doing this?
No, I don't know. Normally, people that are well off don't go back into a sport as barbaric as boxing at 48, X, Y, and Z. That's not normal. But everything doesn't have to make sense to me. It just has to make sense to him.
Amid growing speculation about a complete financial downfall, Oscar de la Hoya has stepped forward to address the situation surrounding the Money Mayweather image, claiming it may not be as real as it appears. He suggests that what many have seen over the years could be a carefully crafted portrayal rather than true wealth. For a long time, fans and insiders in boxing have been captivated by the luxury lifestyle, private jets, flashy diamond-covered watches, and the larger-than-life TB persona. However, de la Hoya now implies that this image might be starting to show cracks. As these claims gain attention, some are beginning to question whether the fighter, who once brought in over $1 billion, is now facing financial pressure, possibly relying on borrowed funds to maintain that high-profile lifestyle.
Why are they fighting again? Why would you fight again? Why is Money Mayweather, who has reportedly made up over $1 billion. Now, that doesn't mean you're bringing it all home. That's not net. That is just in terms of revenue, in terms of the gates. The last fight between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather made $668 million. Where reportedly Floyd Mayweather took home, what, 250 of that? So why is he fighting again, everybody says? Boy, people just telling themselves, why would you fight again if you made all that money? Because that means that people don't really want to fight, right? First thing first, we know that at the bottom of the pecking order, the bottom of all the athletic pyramid of success is fighting, right? UFC, boxing, that's the bottom of the barrel. That's the chitlin circuit. Like if you doing that, either A, your daddy was a fighter, or B, boy, you fighting for your life and your circumstances in this world. So few affluent fighters. Like, oh, we have wealth, we have money, we have success. So few just upper middle class fighters. Like, dog, you gotta be from it, the mud. So we all are telling ourselves when we see somebody fight, like, why are you fighting? Oh. So now we're going to the financial, and obviously there are a lot of reports out there that talks about his money. Now, what it doesn't say, it talks about his debt, it talks about some of his liabilities. What it doesn't tell you is his liquidity. What it doesn't tell you is what he has. Now, you don't know what he has. You can guess this. You can say he has these assets over here that aren't liquid. You can say he has this ownership over here. And then you don't know which way to go back and forth. So the guesswork to you and for me, it's not really the best play because it's not going to be fully informed. It's just like going to somebody's website right now and you going to see celebrity net worth. That's not true. Trust me. I've not met one person that their celebrity net worth is real. Like sometimes it's way higher, sometimes it's way low.
During a conversation with TMZ, Oscar de la Hoya spoke openly about Floyd Mayweather's exhibition bouts and the possibility of him returning for another fight. He suggested that Mayweather is pushing for a second matchup with Manny Pacquiao due to financial struggles and a strong need for income. De la Hoya went on to criticize him heavily, portraying Mayweather as someone chasing a big payday to maintain his finances. According to his remarks, the earnings from exhibition fights are no longer bringing in the same level of revenue, which he believes is driving the search for a high-profile rematch.
You think he's talking this trash because he wants a rematch? Do you think he actually wants?
Absolutely.
You think he wants a rematch?
Look, another reason why he's crawled out of his rock, he needs money.
You think he needs money?
Absolutely.
He's always flossy.
It's absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
He's always spending, so I guess.
Absolutely. Look, he's not fighting anymore, so that big money's not coming in. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He made what, $500 million?
Right.
You think you can't spend $500 million overnight? Absolutely.
You can't.
I doubt he'll ever step into that ring. Floyd's a big freaking.
He called Canelo the easiest win of his career.
Yeah, because he was 21 years old.
Right.
Of course. If I fought Ryan Garcia, who's 19 years old, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna beat him easy because of my experience.
So fight him in his prime, he goes down, you think?
Easy.
What's your message to Floyd?
Floyd, stay under your rock, dude.
This perspective suggests that the image Floyd presents, centered around extreme wealth, may not fully represent his actual financial situation, but instead serve as a calculated approach to sustain his career. De La Hoya explained that the portrayal of massive riches functioned as a promotional tactic, encouraging audiences to tune in with the hope of seeing him defeated. He added that this method was effective for a long time, but eventually the cost of maintaining that lifestyle may have started to exceed the income it generated.
Mayweather never flies commercial. He's only flying private.
So he doesn't own his own plane?
I don't think so. I've never seen a Mayweather plane, like a Drake plane. I've never seen that. Not to say that he doesn't. I don't know Mayweather like that. I've never even met him. So I don't know. I mean, you have a lot of properties. You have a lot of money you're constantly spending.
Right.
I don't know. Remember at one point he said he was buying like the jewelry district building.
Yeah, and they said
that
they
wasn't
said that was
true.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know this man's finances, but this guy told me that Mayweather is in financial problems.
See, here's the shitty part about actually losing your money when you're on that level and you're, kind of like flossing, showing off. Nobody gives a shit. Like there are people actually praying for you to be broke. And then when you do go broke, that's what people are going to say. Yeah. Oh, well, you should have invested better. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to give him any loans. So now, we might see Mayweather doing.
People will give him some loans.
Maybe.
Listen, he's cozying up to Israel. That's
but the thing about it is, he had Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And he was hosting a big, he had Gervonta Davis under his cards. And so that's a like
yeah, but
De La
look what
Hoya
happened to Gervonta.
Right. So if you can
yeah.
sustain that, you don't ever have to box again. But now has to take fights because, when you floss like Mayweather, you can't go down.
Yeah.
You got to stay right there because people are going to peep any kind of chinks in your armor if you're not wearing 3 or 4 big $1 million diamond chains.
Recently surfaced court records have brought new attention to Floyd Mayweather as he becomes involved in a major legal dispute with a well-known jeweler based in Miami. These developments have led some to question whether his available cash reserves have significantly declined. According to filings from early 2026, the claim accuses Mayweather of failing to pay more than $1.3 million to a local business following purchases that reportedly included 26 high-end watches and 15 gold chains. Additional allegations mention returned checks and unsuccessful wire payments, further escalating the matter into legal action.
But Floyd Mayweather is the one that seems like he needs the money more right now. Our guy, Andreas Hale, wrote a story that kind of went somewhat viral. That's crazy, the laugh faces. Although Floyd Mayweather Jr. made hundreds of millions of dollars from his professional boxing career and topped the Forbes list as the highest paid athlete from 2012 to 2014, the boxer is said to have been shortchanged and filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Showtime. The lawsuit filed Tuesday, and obtained by ESPN seeks to recover hundreds of millions of dollars, misappropriated funds, and damages resulting from a long-running and elaborate scheme of financial fraud, breaches in fiduciary duty, and conspiracy orchestrated by Floyd J. Mayweather's former manager and advisor, Al Heyman, with the knowing and substantial participation and aid of defendants Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza. Mayweather, who's 48, says he is owed at least $340 million and cites a complex web of hidden accounts, unauthorized transactions, and deliberate concealment of financial records as the reason he believes he's been defrauded from those funds. Heyman is not named as a defendant in the complaint, which is interesting because I misspoke and said he sued Al Heyman. He's essentially saying that Showtime and Al Heyman colluded to not pay him with Steven Espinoza, but then he doesn't name Heyman in the suit. Very odd. Anyway, it's a mess, and For those people that always thought that Floyd Mayweather had financial troubles because of the money he owed to the IRS, because of the terrible, terrible business and real estate investments that he's made, and apparently some of these have gone under, and he is owed back rent, or he is owing back rent, and he is delinquent on a lot of payments for a lot of different things right now. These things seem to have added up for Floyd, and now it's pretty apparent that not only is he doing these, bank robbery style exhibitions, but it looks like he absolutely needs to do it, which is very, very sad. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Floyd Mayweather as an individual outside of the ring, but I never want to see athletes have their money mismanaged or mismanage their own money so badly that they go broke in retirement, and it looks like that's kind of what's happening. And here's a snippet from Business Insider because it made me want to pay for the entire article. Business Insider is reporting that Floyd Mayweather could be facing money trouble, citing an estimated $54 million in debt, property foreclosures, multiple lawsuits piling up. Mayweather's attorney strongly denies he's any kind of financial distress, but the headlines aren't slowing down. $54 million alleged dollars in debt. So it makes sense why they would want to do this.
When someone known for claiming billionaire-level wealth ends up in a legal dispute over a jewelry bill worth more than $1 million, it raises serious concerns within the boxing world. According to people familiar with the industry, while Floyd Mayweather may still own significant property assets, there are growing claims that his readily available cash is limited. This situation could leave him with difficult choices, such as parting with valuable belongings or stepping back into competition to secure new sources of income.
Maybe more.
How does he owe you the money? Why don't you just
Here's what happened. He pre-sold the fight using my likeness to some company in, I think, Dubai or the Middle East. This is my understanding of it, for $10 million cash. We ended up doing the fight in the States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment that I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at $14 million.
Emphasizing his commitment to preserving the integrity of the sport, Oscar de la Hoya recently criticized Floyd Mayweather's ongoing exhibition events. He described them as a disappointing attempt to generate income, arguing that they take away from the significance of an undefeated 50-0 record. De La Hoya has been especially vocal in his recent Clapback Thursday remarks, calling out the bout involving Tyson, as well as the proposed second fight with Manny Pacquiao. Some observers believe these appearances are driven less by entertainment value and more by financial obligations behind the scenes.
He's used to having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're going to have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro. As I've always said, it's hard to make money, but it's even harder to keep it. Floyd, I'm rooting for you. Come on, let's turn it around.
Critics argue that if Floyd truly dominated the business side of boxing the way his TBE label suggests, situations like changing referees during a round or competing in venues with low attendance overseas wouldn't be happening. To them, the shift from a top pay-per-view attraction to frequent exhibition appearances signals a possible financial downturn. The criticism hasn't come only from analysts. His former close associate, 50 Cent, has also added to the conversation, at one point sharing, and then removing a strong statement claiming that Mayweather is facing financial trouble and needs to keep fighting to earn. The G-Unit founder, who previously had involvement in Mayweather's promotional efforts, has continued raising questions, even suggesting that Floyd's large real estate deals in New York may be more about public image than actual ownership.
There's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign. that goes on where, you know, it's $300,000 chains being bought and buying a new Lamborghini and all these new things. And I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you're already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail, right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, you know, to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when he,
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, you know, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh man.
And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face and he tell me to do that.
How did it get to where we started reading just the tweets? Because it seemed like that, like I would think that y'all could pick up the phone and say, hey man, you know, what's going down here, as opposed to, you know, I respect the shooter and fuck boys, and you know what I'm saying?
That's not Floyd. Floyd don't tweet.
Wow.
That's not him on Instagram. He got somebody next to him. See, everybody around him is codependent. So they're going to roll with what he says.
The long-standing tension between 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather has largely revolved around financial matters, with recent reports mentioning a $340 million fraud allegation tied to former associates, along with legal action involving Showtime. Some now view the money team as facing serious instability.
On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for, and he's now suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud. Ooh, it's a serious accusation there. Conversion, unjust enrichment, and he's seeking punitive damage on top of the missing $340 million. So why is Floyd suing him, and what is he claiming? Well, Floyd argues that during his legendary career, where he generated $1 billion in revenue plus and pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly. The lawsuit also points to some of boxing's biggest pay-per-view fights, including fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that generated hundreds of millions in revenue. Mayweather's legal team said he generated hundreds of millions in revenue for Showtime and now wants to recover what he claims was unfairly taken.
When asked about the situation by combat sports veteran Chael Sonnen, the idea that Floyd made consistently wise financial moves was put under scrutiny. Sonnen, recognized for his outspoken style, argued that the undefeated boxer may have spent his earnings at a faster rate than he accumulated them. He suggested that this could be an example of a common pattern seen among athletes, where heavy spending combined with underperforming investments leads to financial strain over time.
And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say he can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing gym, right? I mean, it's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question.
Sonnen's viewpoint introduces a more grounded angle, suggesting that in major promotional ventures, financial figures can sometimes be overstated to preserve a certain image. He implied that if tax authorities are getting involved and legal disputes with jewelers are emerging, then the athlete, often labeled as one of the smartest businessmen in sports, could be dealing with serious challenges tied to his financial standing.
Asking the question, look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face, the numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time, it's just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner. You've never heard Cox. You've never heard DirecTV. You have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check? And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be sympathetic to Floyd. So Floyd is arguing that he was robbed by Showtime. That he had a deal that Showtime didn't argue. He's arguing this. And who's making that argument and where that goes? I'm just sharing, like, in public opinion, it's very hard to be sympathetic towards Floyd when Floyd, as a promoter, stiffed.
This situation goes beyond the sport itself. It's about financial positioning. Oscar de la Hoya suggests that Floyd's sudden reemergence in promotional activities and his frequent involvement with younger, affluent fighters may be driven more by necessity than strategy. Confronted with the realities of aging and a body under strain, de la Hoya issues a sobering reminder to his former rival. Boxing eventually claims everything, including the wealth earned inside the ring. He reflects on his own career-ending defeat to Manny Pacquiao as a lesson on knowing when to step away. If Floyd continues returning from retirement for exhibition paydays to navigate legal and financial challenges, the stakes extend beyond money. There is a serious risk to his long-term health. The nature of the money persona depends on an ongoing cash flow, and approaching 50, that flow is becoming a risky gamble with potentially permanent consequences.
Could potentially make, how much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Wow. I know you love money, right? I mean,
it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
How did you get the nickname Money? Did you name yourself Money, or was somebody else?
They just started calling me it.
They just started calling it. You always have a lot of money with you.
A little bit.
Yeah. I have a picture of, this is from Instagram. You're on what looks like a private plane, just with a whole...
No, my private plane.
Your private plane, sorry. With a whole lot of money, and it looks like a couple of bowls of ketchup, maybe, also.
No.
Are you eating this money?
Those are cup holders.
Oh, those are cup holders, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a private plane.
You didn't flew on me.
What do you do with all this money? I mean, like, do you actually use it? I mean, are you using the cash?
And, you know, cash is king.
Do you have an ATM card?
I'm the human ATM.
How do you even get this much money? What do you do?
Work hard.
I know that. But, like, do you go to the bank and say, I need all of it? I want all of the money in your bank.
No, that's not what you do. You order it. You can order it.
Oh, you can?
And when you order a certain amount, when you order millions of dollars, a Brinks truck comes to your home.
Wow.
Yes.
Why not just drive around in one of those things?
I did have, at one particular time, I had a Brinks truck.
You did?
I sold it. Yeah.
Who'd you sell that to?
Another guy who loved money.
Another guy who loved money.
As reports of financial troubles and legal battles continue to surface, the boxing community is left questioning Floyd Mayweather's true status. Is he still the undisputed money king? Or has he become another legendary fighter struggling to keep up with expenses? Between Oscar de la Hoya's revelations, 50 Cent's public jabs, and the ongoing court cases in Miami, the billionaire image is facing serious scrutiny. Now it's your turn. Do you think Oscar and 50 Cent are revealing the real story? Or is Floyd simply playing the ultimate showman to boost ticket sales for his next exhibition? Is Money Mayweather truly in financial trouble? Or is he still the smartest operator in the room? Share your thoughts in the comments below. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss future uploads. And don't forget to leave your opinions down in the comment section. We'll see you in the next video.